very good evening and welcome to the live coverage of this Dialog Rugby match in our first weekend of action from the Dialog Rugby League. This one is Army playing the CRNFC, last year's plate championship winners, now playing against the fifth place team that finished at in that position last year. But a lot of changes in these sides, a lot of improvements for both of them, it would have to be said when you think about it. In the CRNFC camp, only 4 members of that team that actually did service for them last year. And those are Shamir Fajuddin, Isha Noor, Ashan Di Costa and Anuradha Herath, who starts on the wing. So just those boys who are left over from last year's CRNFC squad. Ashan Di Costa is the captain. He's playing at fly half. But the rest of them, all guys who've crossed over from the Upcountry Lions, and a few new additions to the Army side as well. They've left their 8 pretty much unchanged, except for the inclusion and the strengthening of Randika Alvis coming into the second row. Rohit Rajapaksa moves from his favoured third row position into the fly half berth. That should be an interesting baptism of fire for Rohit Rajapaksa, the captain, the new captain of this Army side, as referee Callum Stewart says, let's kick this game off in the first weekend of the Rugby Championship from brought to you by Dialog. A quick bust up the middle of the mistake at the kickoff by Joseph Faumi, the number 8 for CRNFC. This is Kanchana Ramanayaka. Muscled into touch by Kamindu Pereira on the left wing for Army. Lots of new names for Army also in the back line. We have Banu Kananayakara fitting into the number 12 jersey. Kamindu Pereira on the right wing, and Chula Susanta, the big strong Chula Susanta, Sri Lanka's 7's exponents, fitting into the left wing. First line out of the game, won well by Army there. Randik Alvis going up. They've set their driving maul, and now given out by Andrew Benson to Rohit Rajapaksa. This is the big man in the Army lineup, that is Pio Tuai. Rajapaksa shifts it on quickly once again. Referee signaled advantage for a scrum, but Benson gets it out. This is a quick ball that Rajapaksa is sending out to his backs, but they are not going beyond the gain line. And a small knock-on has resulted in the first scrum of the game as well. So good continuity there from the Army team. They didn't make a lot of ground, but they managed to hold on to the ball and stretch the CR defense in patches. So now the first real test for the CR defense, because this is a midfield scrum at this wonderful racecourse ground, which has drained beautifully by the looks of things. So despite the torrential rain earlier on this morning, it looks like it's going to be a pretty fast-paced game. You won't see too much kicking as a result of the rain. First scrum picked up there by Tuai. But CRNFC completely destroying that Army scrum. Good work from them. They get the ball back though, and Rajapaksa has to kick. That's not a bad kick for a guy who's playing his first club season at fly half. And they've got the penalty as well. So Callum Stewart says that, tells Dylan Soisa that the CR defensive line was offside. And despite that very good kick from Rajapaksa, he'll get another chance to put this one to touch. Finds pretty much the same spot, but this time he'll have the line out ball as well. So a good start to this game by Army. They've got a good strong pack, guys who have played together for a long time. Udara Madhusanka, Asoka Jayalal on the fringes of the Sri Lanka team, the Army hooker. Nice ball up the middle taken by Randik Alvis. Quick ball from Benson to Rajapaksa. Rajapaksa gives it to Tuai and it's intercepted, but knocked forward. So 2 knock-ons, the referee signals, and they'll come back for the CR ball. And this is the first set piece that CR will get the ball into. They've shown a good scrummage the first time of testing. They should get some front foot ball for the big number 8, Joseph Faumi, to run off. Look for a break here. Army's defense will be tested. Kilifi Latu will line him up. Trump didn't hold that time around, and Rochana Hettiarachchi, who has been outstanding for CRNFC in the lead up to this first match of the season, has been playing a lot of very good rugby in his new position at fullback, but that time overcooks the kick. Went straight into touch, so they will bring it back for the line out just on the Army side of the 50-meter line. It's the third line out in a row for Army. They've won it well in the middle. Shouldn't change anything, and that's exactly what they do. Quick ball off the top. Rajapaksa with a nice long ball to Latu. Latu steps and breaks the gain line. Now that's good ball. Rajapaksa once again at fly half. It's a bustling run by the foreign player. Changing of direction here. Not sure that was the right option as Faumi rips the ball off the Army player. That's a big bust up the middle by Billy James Ropina. Billy James is the CRNFC centre three-quarter. Quick ball again. Shamir Fajuddin shifts it to Fauima. He puts the boot to the ball. Don't know why he did that, but gets a good gain. Should probably have kept it in hand. He had numbers outside, and also the big man could probably have taken on a few runners himself. But he's found an attacking line out, and Army will be tested here. Asoka Jalal to throw in. Fakes the throw, and referee tells the extra CRNFC players that they need to retreat. They go to the back. Fajuddin tries to intercept that ball but doesn't manage to do it, and Army managed to tidy this one up. Rajapaksa under tremendous pressure manages to get it out. That's a good kick by Rajapaksa, and I must say I was a little skeptical as to whether he would be able to make the change from playing as a forward for the last several years to come into the fly half berth, which is a very specialist berth, something that you need to be playing at for a long time. But his clearances under pressure and his distribution also have seemed quite crisp, and that's good news for the Army team. So CRNFC will have the line out. Their first line out of the game. Rajat Abekun will be a target. Indeed, it is at the back of the line out, or in the middle of the line out, but referee letting that obviously crooked throw go because there was no contest. That's good refereeing. There's no contest. You should let the game go on. A lot of Sri Lankan referees would have blown that. Dilan Soisa juggles Ashan De Costa. First time now for the CR line. Billy James trying to bust his way through the middle there. Ashan De Costa plays at fly half. This is Rochana Hettiarachchi. He deems that Army will have more of an advantage in this. And let's see what the Army pack can do now, packing down much lower than the CRNFC forward pack. Much better body position, but Sia's weight in the front row is what he's telling. There's a man off the back now. That was PO2I. Makes good ground. And now Rajapaksa puts a big right boot to it. Hettiarachchi takes it pretty easily. But Kilifi Latu got in there and made the tackle. Dilan Soisa. Ball went back, says the referee. And now some space. That's a huge hit. But the ball offloaded by Anuradha Herat there. They've still got it, CRNFC. They managed to hold on to this. This is a good passage of play from them. Good hands from Shamir Fajuddin. Good run by Rajat Abekun as well. Dilan Soisa. To last year's captain Ishan Noor. Stays strong on his feet. Soisa once again. Shane Samada Peruma sending it out, and oh, that's a bad miss by the CRNFC player. Should really have taken that ball. Sasanka Aryaratne was yelling for it in the corner. But a good tackle made by the Army cover defense. So Banu Ganane getting across nicely to make the covers, and Andrew Benson also running that second line of defense has been outstanding so far. Strong player Andrew Benson. He played for Science College, captain Science College in fact. Jalal to throw in. Army will take it at the back, and despite the contest from Sia, managed to win the ball, and good run from Tuai once again. That's a lovely angle from Tuai. Manages to get the offload. Chula Susanta puts the ball to his boot. Now the chase is on, but Rochana Hettiarachi should win this race easily. And the ball beats everyone into touch, and the referee will signal the 22 dropout. No, he hasn't signaled the 22 dropout because Hettiarachi kicked it while it was in the field of play. So that's good work from Chula Susanta. A great chase. And he forces a 5-meter scrum. And this will be a terrific test for the CRNFC 8. Breaking out of their own 22 Army and looking dangerous was Pio Tuai, who made the initial break, ran a lovely angle. That's him joining the scrum right now. So look for him breaking on the right side. This might just be the first try of the game, but I don't know why the wingers are moving away instead of giving him support. There he goes now. Good tackle from Arya Ratna. Trying to bust their way over from close range Army, and this is good tactics. Why spin it? Tuai here, the big Fijian. Here it is for Benson. Quick hands. That's a nice ball off the top, and this is going to be the first try for Army. Yes, it is. That's Kamindu Pereira who scores in the corner. He's a difficult lad to stop, Kamindu. He's got pace to burn, and from that distance was always going to be an easy try for him. It was quick hands by Rajapaksa that made that try. Really good handling by Banu Kanane Akara as well. Managed to get the ball out. They knew they had space on the outside. And the run from Tuai from his own 22 and Chula Susanta's kick has led to the first try of the game being scored by Army. So a 5-pointer, and Army getting off to a good start here. We're only about 10 minutes into the game. Motilal Jayatilaka, the coach of the Army team, will be very happy with that. Ably assisted by Nisal Mipage, who's also handling the admin duties. Former Army prop forward. It's kick to be taken by Andrew Benson. And it's a wonderful kick. An outstanding kick, in fact. Superbly done by Prince Charmer, I'm afraid. That was not Andrew Benson. I gave his Science College teammate a little too much credit there. Prince Charmer, the Science College player from last year. Putting over that kick from this year, actually. Putting over that kick. Converting Kamindu Pereira's try. And CRNFC need to string some phases together to make sure Army don't score again before they get within touching distance. Ashan Di Costa, the captain, kicks off short, and Asoka Jailal takes it easily under no pressure. This is Benson. Looks for Rajapaksa. Once again puts it high up and under. That was Faumi. Has his first chance to stretch his legs. He's big and strong, but runs completely nowhere. Goes into touch, runs himself into touch, really. Nobody even had to push him. So Joseph Faumi getting a bit disoriented by these long touch areas here at the racecourse grounds. It can be a bit disorienting for kickers as well as wingers. You really have to know the ground well. So Fahumi in his first game in Sri Lanka, got to excuse him. Rajapaksa, quick hands once again to Latu. It's a nice inside ball to Prince Chamara. Benson, this is Tuai. They're looking for their big runners. That's good play by Army. Good quick ball. Rajapaksa once again. Ball put to the boot and Kavindu Pereira chasing up, but Rochana Hettiarachchi does well to bring that ball out of danger. Now they've got some numbers on the outside. Rajitha Abekun, Ishan Noor. This is Famui. Abekun, oh, he delayed the pass just a little bit too much, but now Sasanka Ariyaratne has picked up the loose ball and the ball goes down. Arun Kumar not able to handle it there. So CRNFC had numbers to burn on that side, but just weren't able to hold the ball. Situm Piris involved in that move, the Wesley number 8 from last year. He's been playing with a chain on, Situm Piris. Dear Lord, who allowed him to do that? Don't know whether he forgot in his excitement at his CRNFC debut, but playing with a chain on is really asking for trouble. Could land yourself with a serious injury. So knock on from Arun Kumar has led to Army's scrum now. Watch for this CRNFC scrum to dominate towards the end of the game. Tuai plays scrum half himself, gives it to Latu. Latu looks for the incoming Prince Chamara. This is Kavindu Pereira. Gets away from one, manages to offload the ball, but not to a hand. And once again, good gain from Army. They're spreading it wide first time. Kilifi Latu, the Army centre, is just drawing players and letting it out. And he knows he's got some really pacey guys on his outside. He's got Chula Susanta, he's got Prince Chamara, and he's also got Kavindu Pereira. All these guys with real pace. So Latu's doing the smart thing. He's drawing defenders into him and looking for the space on the outside, and they've made about 30 meters with that little tactic. Banu Kananiakara combining with Latu in the middle of the field there. And so far it's been so good for Army. It's another scrum for CRNFC. Off your screen, Ashan DeCosta is shouting instructions to his backs. And we're seeing a little shift. Kanchana Ramanayaka and Billy James changing positions. Ashan DeCosta back in the fly half berth after some time of playing in the back three. He's also the captain. That's a big responsibility for him. Anuradha Hera throws a wild pass. Shanaka Kumara puts his boot to it. But it's returned with interest now, and Rochana Hettiarachchi gives it to Billy James. Billy James now with a little bit of chance to get ahead of steam up. Goes sideways, but the referee says that there's been a penalty because there was somebody in front of the kicker. That's good refereeing. Number 1, says the referee, Callum Stewart from Australia. Good to see the foreign referees here already in the first week before any controversy happens, trying to prevent it. That's good from the SLRFU. But again, not a very good kick. Completely sliced off the side of his boot. See, I will have the ball though on just on the Army side of the halfway line. CRNFC running into the line out, but they've been badly positioned, so that little tactic goes awry. Arun Kumar throws in, and Rajat Abekun takes it in the middle, but the referee this time has had enough, and he says that's way crooked. So we will have the scrum going to Army. So that's a real waste of possession by CRNFC. Arun Kumar's played a lot of his rugby at number 8, but played in the club scene as a hooker. But throwing is a core skill that you have to master right throughout your school days, and it's not something you can pick up as you go along. So that's going to be something that Coach Imti Mariko of last year's upcountry team and this year's CRNFC team will have to work on. Tuai holds off 2 players. That's good defense from Kanchana Ramanayaka on Kilifi Latu. Leads to a mistake from Army which sends them 20 meters back, but they managed to hold on to the ball. Andrew Benson now. That's a good run from Dinesh Suranga. Manages to buy the penalty. Off their feet, says the referee. And Tuai now barges the referee off the mark to take the tap. And he's gained 30 meters. Andrew Benson goes blindside. Good option from him. Dilan Soiza goes down, but the referee tells the tackler that he hadn't released. It was Ashan Di Costa. He was the one who unfortunately gave away the penalty. Dilan Soiza's poach was good, but Ashan Di Costa hadn't released. So good to see the referee clamping down on the breakdown there, ensuring that nothing untoward goes on. You've got to call the first offence and call it quickly, and then the players know he means business. Prince Charmer will be full of confidence, the man on your screen, after that touchline conversion from a few moments ago. So he'll back himself to score this one. Small crowd gathered here at the racecourse grounds. Most of them an Army crowd, so it's like a home game for the Army for sure. It is a home game, in fact. And yes, it's just found its way over the crossbar. Prince Charmer puts his team 10 points ahead. It was a long kick. He didn't strike it brilliantly, but it hung in the air just long enough to creep over the bar. And CRNFC find themselves facing a 10-point deficit. And Ashan Di Costa will have to make sure that his forwards get the ball back. Try to put in a good kickoff. It's not a great one, but Abe Kun manages to get up there. Shanaka Kumara throws it wildly to Faumi. Faumi makes a good run. And now they've got to get quick ball. Dilan Soiza goes in after it. Fajuddin shows the ball and goes into contact. Got to recycle it quickly once again. Here it is for Soiza. Ashan Di Costa puts in the chip. Beautifully chased there by Anuradha Herath, but he knocks it on. Nicely weighted kick, and Anuradha Herath did really well to get under that one. But just couldn't hold on to it. Kanchana Ramanayaka also in the thick of it there. He's been a good player for the Upcountry Lions after he left Trinity College. Kanchana Ramanayaka just about knocking on the door of that Sri Lankan side as well, pushing Pradeep Lianake all the way in that number 13 position. See what he can conjure up for his new team here today. Sasanka Ariyaratne in the open side flank goes in after Tuai, but he misses a tackle. Tuai puts it to his boot, and now he's hacked it away. Ashan Di Costa tries to go down with one hand, and now they're throwing it around wildly, the CRNFC team. Nobody wants to hold this ball. Dear oh dear, they just needed to fall on that one. And now Anuradha Herath has somehow managed to come away with it. So Sia, after some moments of madness, now on the front foot. Billy James, is he going to go all the way? No, he's not. He manages to put the ball into Ramanayaka, but it's popped clear by Andrew Benson. And it's still this really messy training ground sort of rugby. Rajat Abekun throws a wild pass. It goes forward, but the referee misses that one. Ramanayaka puts it in. This is like a game of netball here. Ball flying all over the place. Nobody really wants to hold it. Completely lost its structure this game. And that passage of play was a real comedy of errors from both teams. It's still the first weekend, so despite big wins for Havelocks and Candy yesterday, there will be some teething problems. So after that little passage where everyone is throwing it around like a game of pass the parcel, they'll be happy to get a little bit of a breather here. The sun is out now, and you'd never imagine that it has rained the way it did in Colombo today. There's a torrential downpour for most of the morning. The sun started creeping out at about 2 o'clock, and now it's as hot as ever. Players will need to keep taking on that hydration because this ground is a nice spongy ground to fall on, but that also means that you've got to really extend yourself with your calf muscles and the backs of your legs to try and get some pace up, and that results sometimes in a bit of cramping. So players have got to stay hydrated, as does the referee. His first time here, Callum Stewart, the Australian. Nipuna Devinder, the Sipatanian prop forward on the loose head side of the scrum for Sia, propping against Dinesh Suranga, who's a big strong man. Created real trouble for the same opposition last year. Army playing in green now. Sasanka Aryaratna losing his bind early, and the referee has spotted him the second time around. He did the same thing earlier and missed a tackle the last time, but this time the referee spots him for losing his bind, and that's a good call from referee Callum Stewart. If it makes a difference and Tuai gets stopped before he gets a chance to get on the front foot, then that really is a legitimate penalty. So Sasanka Aryaratna needs to mind his discipline on the open side of the scrum. Tuai has really created trouble for the CRNFC defense, the big Fijian number 8. P.O. Tuai, beautifully taken in the middle of the line-out. Army's line-out has been functioning brilliantly. Rajapaksa goes for a run and gives it to Kilifi Latu on the short, but he knocks it on. And there's a double knockout from CRNFC, so the referee will give Sia the scrum. Rajapaksa choosing the run option there. And Latu knocking on what was a promising move, because a recycle from there would have seen CRNFC stretched on the left flank as you watch it on the screen. Watch for Faumi here. He couldn't pick up the first scrum as he would have liked to, but a little bit more stability here will help him. Here he goes. Good tackle by the Army number 7. That was Upul Aberatna. Nice bootlaces tackle. Andrew Benson. Asoka Jayala. Now Latu. And here's quick ball. That's been a feature of Army's game. Real quick ball. And Billy James picks up the loose pass. Now he's trying to fight his way to the line. Army tested for the first time now. Dilan Soiza, Shamir Fajudi knocks it on, but the referee says everything else was fine. I thought the Army defensive line was a little bit flat there. But despite Billy James's busting run, there was not enough support for him. And Army find themselves grateful for that defensive ball. Some lovely quick play by the Army team. Some great ball that they've been receiving. Unfortunately, there was a wild pass which Billy James swooped on, but nobody else on the CR team really seemed to react to it. And Army will have another scrum. It's been a pretty error-strewn game so far. Both teams guilty of errors. Andrew Benson leaves it behind and Dylan Soiza pounces on this one. Tuai goes straight over the top. But the referee says he left his feet in doing so. And Fahumi will think about the quick tap but change his mind because he looks to be huffing and puffing already. What will the call be here from Ashan Di Costa? Will he go for the post? It's right under the post, so Rojana Hettiarachchi may step up. Or Shanaka Kumara, who will be taking the kicks for CR this year. Riza Mubarak, a big loss for this CR team. He's switched back to Navy from where he came for last year's season. And Shanaka Kumara makes quick work of that. So that's the first points of 2014 for CRNFC. A penalty for Shanaka Kumara, and they're on the board. But they're still trailing by 7 points to a gutsy Army side who certainly has been having the better of play in the first quarter of this game. Army already making a substitution. We've had, I think it's Pio Tuai who's down, so they're looking to for him to be substituted. Hope it's nothing serious for the big man. That would be a real blow for the Army. Ashan Di Costa now looks to run, but then changes his mind midstream. Kicks it straight into the hands of Prince Chamara. Chamara is stepping his way and going towards his support players, who arrive quickly. Can't touch the halfback. That was Ashan Di Costa once again in the thick of things. But you can't interfere with the halfback, and the referee will have a word. Referee off your screen having a small chat with Ashan Di Costa, telling him as a player and also as the captain that that sort of indiscipline needs to stop. Di Costa nods his head, says sorry, and promises never to do it again. Rohit Rajapaksa spirals that ball into touch, and now the substitution has been made. Samuela Saingaeva has come into this Army side in place of Pio Tuai, who is limping off the field, off your screen. Looks like a bit of an ankle injury for him. Hopefully that won't be anything serious. Randik Alvis grabs it in the middle once again. He's been brilliant in the line out so far, Randika. Andrew Benson with a nice long ball out to Rohit Rajapaksa. Asoka Jayalal. Rajapaksa takes the loop around. That's a good tackle by Ramanayaka. Read the play well, but Prince Chamara now steps off his left foot and looking for Kavidu Pereira on the outside. This is the try scorer. Can he go all the way once again? Kavidu Pereira's over. That's a great try by Army. An absolutely fantastic try. And Kavidu Pereira, the 7th specialist, scores a double early on, just making his advent into the 15's version of the game. He hasn't really been one of the names that is a household name, but he scorched the 2013 Carlton Sevens tournament, was the joint highest top scorer with Yoshita Rajapaksa. He's got absolutely massive afterburners. And it's only a slightly built lad, but he's got long strides and can leave all defenders in the dirt, which is exactly what he did there. He had a lot of finishing to do. Although it was a very short distance, Prince Chamara really made that try with a fantastic mazy run. But Pereira's finishing was excellent. Chamara from a little bit further infield from where he kicked the last one. Last conversion. But this is most difficult kick of the day so far. And the flag stayed down from the touch judges. So it's 15 points to 3 to Army. Kamindu Pereira's brace making the difference. And a penalty also, along with a conversion to Prince Chamara, the Science College fullback, in his debut season in the club rugby scene. Army have really dominated this game so far. They've had all the ball. CRNFC haven't been able to win their set pieces convincingly. Nishanta Kobbekadua takes that ball in from the kickoff. Andrew Benson. Once again, it's a clear tactic from Army for Rajapaksa to put the ball up as soon as he gets it. Put some pressure on this back three. Shanaka Kumara and Rochana Hettiarachi have played together before, but Anuradha Herath is essentially a flanker. Flanker and number 8. And he's now moving to an unfamiliar position. Well, he's played on the wing before, but at club rugby with the kicks coming, it's not as easy. And Army looking to exploit that, winning the line out once again. And Andrew Benson, once again the same tactic. Rajapaksa finds Shanaka Kumara. The chase is good from Army. Rochana Hettiarachi puts it high. Now he'll have to chase. Shanaka Kumara gets there. And referee very correctly blows for an offside. That was knocked on by Asoka Jayalal, who contested Shanaka Kumara. And the Army player played it from in front of him. Ishan Noor smashed back in the tackle by Saingeva. But he manages to hold on to the ball. That's good from last year's captains at CRNFC. And now Arun Kumar hanging around on the wing. And Saingeva makes yet another tackle. Samuela Saingeva in the number 18 shirt coming on in place of Pio Tuai. Who's gone off after an excellent 20 or 25 minutes of play. Asoka Jayalal. That time it's won at the front by Army. And they use their rolling maul to good effect. Andrew Benson to Rohita Rajapaksa. That's a good kick by the youngest Rajapaksa brother. Now Rochana Hettiarachi puts in a kick, but it's not a great kick. I'm not sure if that was even a drop goal attempt. But Prince Chamara will bang that one into touch. And Arun Kumar thinks about throwing it in quickly, but has no one to throw it to. Rajit Abekun wins that ball, but it's again not straight. Referee letting it go this time. Ashan Di Costa takes it standing. Billy James winds up and lets himself fly at the defense, but the Army defense is solid. Banu Kananiakara has been good at number 12, stopping Billy James without letting him get too much gas. And Sia conceding a penalty. Rajapaksa goes for the far touchline and spirals the ball nicely into touch using the tried and tested spiral method. Kickers vary between the spiral and the drop punt, where some players like to kick the ball on the end. But Rajapaksa using the more traditional method of spiraling the ball into touch where you kick it off the side of your boot. Randik Alvis at the front this time for Army. Asoka Jailal makes some good ground, but the referee says there's been a forward pass there. Otherwise, Saingaeva thought he was in for the try. One big Fijian, Tuai, replaced by an even bigger Fijian. Not sure that this injury is a blessing in disguise for Army, because Saingaeva looks like he's a real athlete. Looks a much younger player than Pio Tuai did, so he might cause even more problems for CRNFC. Watch for him off the back of this scrum. In fact, it's a CRNFC ball, so watch for Faumi. Here's Dylan Soisa. Looping around is Billy James, who puts that now familiar stutter step. He's going laterally, Billy James, and he's banged into touch by Kilifi Latu, the number 13 for Army. And you can see there the number 12 red jersey puts his hand up in apology, as he should, because he took that loop going around Kanchana Ramanayaka. All he needed to do is straighten the angle, but instead he ran sideways and got himself shoved into touch ignominiously. Should be apologizing to himself as well. Jailal throws in. Situm Piris tries to contest, but it's well won again by Randik Alvis. The Trinitian has been tremendous in the line out so far. Bhanuka Nayakkara looping to Rohita Rajapaksa, now Kavindu Pereira, the try scorer. Well, that time the move breaks down because they were alert to Kavindu's danger. CRNFC managing to get across and cover. Anuradha Herath making a tackle there. So back to where they started, CRNFC. This is where they had their last scrum. Dylan Soisa. And this time Ashanti Costa opts for the up and under. It's not a great kick. Chula Susantha manages to palm it back, and Kilifi Latu stays strong on his feet until his support arrives. This is Benson. Standing flat is Rajapaksa. Asoka Jailal runs a nice angle off his captain. And that's again a very short ball from Benson. Be good if Rajapaksa can get a little bit of depth to allow his backs into the game, but that's overcooked. But the referee says there's been a player leaving his feet in the last breakdown, so Army will win the penalty. I mean, maybe even for the breather, looking for the three-pointer. Might want to just run some time down on the clock because they're in a healthy lead, 15 points to 3. Play for half-time. Prince Chamara lining up this kick. He's 2 from 3 for the afternoon so far. The CR defense has the sun in their eyes. It's just to the left of the posts, and Rochana Hettiarachi will run a few meters before dumping this one into touch. And that's half time. At the short whistle of referee Callum Stewart, it's 15 points to 3 in favour of Army, who've looked very much the better team in this first 40 minutes. CRNFC really have a lot to work on, especially ball retention, when they come back for the second half. But at the moment, Army doing very well, looking for their big foreigners to make the inroads. But their third row has also been outstanding. Upul Aberatna and Migara Madugalla in attack and defense. They're getting across the park really well. And the line out has been exceptional from Randik Alves, the second rower, the former Trinity and Candy player who's moved to Army now. Has really made the difference in the lineouts. And CRNFC will have to find a way to win those lineouts. Because they need a little bit of ball to play with in the second half. It's 15 points to 3. It's not as close as it looks on the scoreboard. We'll be back with our live coverage of this Dialog A-Division League rugby match between CRNFC and Army, live from the racecourse grounds on ThePapare.com in just a few moments. Welcome back to live coverage of the CRNFC versus Army game here at the Racecourse grounds. Army, who have led into the break 15 points to 3, kick off the second half. Stern words from coach Imtimarik, I'm sure, for his CRNFC team, who have been a little lackluster in their first half of rugby in this 2014-15 season. Prince Chamara, who has had an outstanding half so far for his team, conversely, done really well. And we've seen a substitution for CRNFC. Pale Sose comes on in the 22 jersey and immediately concedes a penalty. The ruck was formed, says Australian referee Callum Stewart, before Sose turned that one over. So we've had actually 2 substitutions of the foreign players for CRNFC. In fact, that's Robert Malnick who conceded that penalty. Pale Sose actually plays for the Army. And Papi Farrell has also come on in place of Joseph Faumi in the number 8 position. That's well stolen at the front by Rajat Abekun. Knocked forward by the Army player trying to follow through. And CR, despite not winning their own ball, contesting Randik Alvis effectively there for the first time in the game. So Shamli Nawaz, the forwards coach for CR, would have noticed that. Papi Farrell with the headband at the back of the CR scrum might try to make a break here and find some space. That was nicely done there. Robert Malnick running onto that ball from Farrell. Good understanding between those two. Dylan Soisa now to Nipuna Devinder. Good run from the prop forward, although he's going a little laterally. And knock forward, says the referee. Ishan Noor implodes with Callum Stewart, saying, "Are you sure, sir?" And referees never change their decisions, despite however much we implore them. So another scrum now for Army in a really dangerous attacking position. Referee not happy with the binding there. Soisa now. The quick ball out to the fly half and Captain Rajapaksa. That's a nice little inside ball which was interfered with just in time by the CRNFC defender. Might have caused some strife for the Army player there. Come back and see what happened there. Ishan Noor. Knock forward, says the referee, and I think there's been a serious problem there with the Army players. I think they ran into each other which was the problem. Sorry, getting all tongue-tied. That inside ball didn't find its mark. And the 2 Army players just went straight into each other, I think. Can't tell you yet who they are. One of them is Prince Chamara by the looks of things. There's another player still down, and that's really unfortunate. Army have already lost Pio Tuai to a not so serious looking ankle injury. That looked like Chula Susanta. He's a tough lad, so he won't want to go off the field at all. So no need for Sashan Mohammed, who thought he was getting his first test of the action. He's now hopped back to the bench. And Sia will probably look to run this one, because they've got a bit of catching up to do. Poppy Farrell at the back. Soiza. Ashan DeCosta turns. Fires the kick in. Kilifi Latu did well. And Situm Pires, diving over the top of that rock, managed to obstruct the scrum half for just enough time. That's not a good pass, but well tidied up there. Kilifi Latu, who has been outstanding for Army so far. Very smart player and wins the penalty as well. Sia not really doing well on the ground there. It's a couple of penalties now for not releasing the tackler, and that's where they've got to show a little bit more discipline, the CRNFC team. This is where they've hurt themselves by giving the ball away so much and just allowing Army free territory, free points. Shane Samadapperma looks like he's on for Shamir Fajuddin in the front row for Sia. Army have not made any changes at half time. Going off the front of the line out. Referee having a problem with whatever happened there. Not sure exactly what it was on the far side of the field. Our media box is very far away from the action. The referee having his third chat of the day with Sia captain Ashan DeCosta. He's got to communicate a lot. DeCosta makes sure, especially in the first game, that as a fly half and as a captain, his team does what he wants them to. Poppy Farrell gives it to his captain, Costa. Puts the big boot in, and staring at the sun is Prince Chamara, but manages to take it well. Puts the kick in, and Costa is covering that one. Now he has a chance to run. Rochana Hettiarachi gets smashed back in the tackle. He was off balance when he took that ball, and it showed. Now Anuradha Herath comes away with it. His first run of the evening. Dilan Soiza. This is the new man, Robert Malnick. Soiza again to Nipuna Devinda, and that's a huge tackle on Ishan Noor. But the referee says it was offside. Kilifi Latu smashing Sia's ex-captain back. Robert Malnick now. That was a lovely pass to Ashan DeCosta, who passes it to nobody now. Kanchana Ramanayaka tidies that ball up. Sia still have it, but it's very untidy. Robert Malnick now makes a break. He's looked dangerous since he's come on, but nobody's with him. Sasank Ariyaratta now gets in there. It's a looping pass by Dilan Soiza. Oh dear, that was a hospital one if I ever saw it. And poor old Situm Pires didn't know what hit him. It was a terrible pass from Dilan Soiza. Rahul De Silva on the bench must be wondering what he needs to do to get a run on. Apologies, it's Nalin Kumara who's on for Shamir Fajuddin in the front row. And now we're seeing a couple of changes for Army as well. Johan Kaiser comes on for Dinesh Suranga, the big Josephian. Plays a lot of basketball as well for the Hambantara Sharks. And now has made the move to Army, Johan Kaiser. Big ball carrier. Was outstanding for St. Joseph's a few years ago. Let's see whether he's still got the goods. Haven't seen much of Samuela Saingaeva, but here he is. A good tackle though on him by Poppy Farrell. Rohit Rajapaksa puts it to his boot, but Rochana Hettiarachi is there. He puts the big kick in. It's a better kick this time. Hettiarachi flies in after that ball, but Andrew Benson manages to get it away. And now Army have managed to secure this one as well. They've shown excellent ball retention, this Army side. CR showing some urgency, but Army still managing to retain it. Their technique has been really good at the breakdown. And they win a penalty this time as well. Illegal entry, says referee. Sasanka Aryaratna going in from the side. Really can't say there's been a lot wrong with the way referee Callum Stewart has blown this game. I don't think anybody can have any complaints, except maybe the CRNFC coach or his players, because they've been letting themselves down with all this indiscipline. Ashandi Costa puts it high, but it was a good chase as well from Herat. They finally got the ball in an attacking position, Sia. They'll have to, but it's slow ball. It's finally coming out for Dilan Soisa. Shifted out quickly to the forward runners. Here's Soisa again. Goes open side. Ashandi Costa goes for a run himself. That's a good run by the fly half. Papi Farrell takes it off his bootlaces. A lovely pickup from him. Not a great offload. The referee says play on, and the Army come away with it now. So Sia have not managed to retain that ball either. Kamindu Pereira goes in, sets it up, and Rohit Rajapaksa has his kick charge down. Didn't manage to get a boot to it, so referee says it was knocked on. Asoka Jalal looks a little bemused. Not sure referee Callum Stewart's Australian accent is the easiest for these players to understand. He's managed so far so good. And Kilifi Latu comes off. For Army, he's done yeoman service in this game so far, and he will be replaced by Pale Sose in the number 24 jersey in the outside centre position next to Banu Kanane Akara, who's also been having an excellent game in defence. Dilan Soisa waits, and Papi Farrell shifts to the number channel 1 position and now goes, but he's well tackled by Andrew Benson from the back. The referee says there's been illegal scrummaging, lifting in the front, and Ashan Di Costa will look for the touchline. No, in fact Robert Malnik will look for the touchline and finds it easily. Malnik looks like a quality player. I'm not sure why he's not starting, especially judging from the fitness of Faumi. Probably need to start this duo in the next game. But Coach Marika might have been thinking that it's better to get them out of the way and have the fitter players coming on later against tired legs. See whether that works. Here's that famous rolling maul that Sia have used for many years. Asoka Jalal is trying to disrupt it, but illegally so. And now Dilan Soisa takes it and goes, looking to go on his own, but well tackled there by Randik Alvis. And Anuradha Herat takes it from the wrong mark. So for the first time in the game, Army's defense in a little bit of disarray. Ashan Di Costa trying to calm things down and shows Malnik the touchline. Says he wants one 5 meters out. And Malnik obliges. The New Zealander. Malinda Hettiarachi is the Man to throw in now at hooker, relieving Arun Kumar of his duties. That core skill is going to be a problem for CI if they're going to keep playing Arun Kumar. That's a much better line out. You can see what a difference it has made since Hettiarachi came on. That's a better defense of the rolling maul. Good strength from the Army forward pack. Defended that one really well. Now they've doubled up. Ishan Noor tries to go in support of his teammate, but the ball is slow. Here's Malnik once again. Is he able to weave his way to the line? Ashan Di Costa goes over for the try. Does he? Yes, he does. Ashan Di Costa gets the try. He's got an ear for the line, this boy. And it was Malnik who drew the defense there. And some good hands sends Ashan Di Costa, the captain, over in for the corner. So he scored the first try of his team season. And gets them within 7 points. So the introduction of Malnik has really made a huge difference for the CR team. And from close range, Army for the first time looking a little vulnerable. So now with the conversion to come, if they get within 10 points or if they get within 5 points, then the pressure all reverts back to the Army team. Shanaka Kumara with the all-important conversion. Knows how crucial this kick is, because 7 points puts them in front and increases pressure on Army. It's a good kick, but just a little wide of the right hand upright. And Sia looking to make a substitution. You can see it at the bottom of your screen there. Joel Pereira will go on to replace his Wesleyite teammate Situm Piris. Played together for quite a while, Joel and Situm. And Situm Piris has done pretty well on debut at CRNFC. He's not had an outstanding game, but he's not had a bad one either. Rohit Rajapaksa with a hanging kick-off taken by Papi Farrell. Sisishan Noor shifts it to Sasanka Aryaratna. Really good upper body strength in the tackle there by Pale Soze. And here's a good run from Robert Malnik. But once again the touchline, the invisible touchline, getting the better of CRNFC. But you can see what a difference Malnik has made since he's come on. Asoka Jalal has had a superb game. Saingaeva goes up, but it's overthrown. Just as I said that Jalal is a superb game, he makes a mistake. This is Saingaeva. This is Randik Alves running straight into Arun Kumar there. Good tackle on Papi Farrell. But now Sia have some pace, but the ball is knocked on in that offload. You can see the shadow of the wonderful racecourse stadium now coming off that far side touchline into the middle of the field. Makes it a little bit difficult sometimes when the kicks come from out of the shadow, or the passes come from out of the shadow and you're standing in the sun. This is excellent break area for Papi Farrell. Look for him to come off the base of this scrum. but he chooses not to. Ashan Di Costa gets a terrible pass from Dylan Soisa, and Malnik puts his boot to it. That's the drop punt I was talking about, but it was well covered by Prince Chamara, who puts it high into the waiting hands of Dylan Soisa. Now Rochana Hettiarachchi herring after the ball. Rochana, will he get the lucky bounce? Will Sia get the lucky bounce? Yes, they will, and that's a try for CRN FC. Shanaka Kumara chasing up Rochana Hettiarachchi's kick, and out of nowhere, Sia have scored twice. Kanchana Ramanayake, in fact, it was. Completely undid the defense, the bounce of that ball. And Prince Chamara had chased the ball up. There was nobody covering. The number 8 had not dropped back. And Kanchana Ramanayake, always alert, flew in, picked it up nicely. It was a very low ball that he had to pick up, and fell over gratefully just on the right side of the post. So Sia coming back into this game, and Kumara will surely get this conversion to put them level. Yes, the conversion is good, so it's 15-all here, and we're having an exciting game in this first round of action in the Dialog Rugby League. Sia have come back from the brink. Robert Malnik and Puppy Farrell making a huge difference since they were introduced in the second half. And now the Upcountry Lions make a change. That man running across the top of your screen is Sashan Mohammed, and he will be replacing Chula Susantha, the former Trinity College winger, replacing the Sri Lanka Sevens player. Susantha's done well, but probably needs to come in from his wing and look for space. It's a restart, not well gathered by Sia, putting themselves under pressure immediately. And now Army might have to respond with a little bit of urgency, because they seem to have relaxed with that half-time lead that they had. But 2 quick tries for Sia have changed everything. Ashan Di Costa, the man who scored the first of those tries, puts it nice and high, but Prince Chamara is equal to the task. Rajapaksa, this is Kavindu Pereira. Manages to fling it back inside. You can see how much pace he's got, Pereira. But it went forward. Off Pereira's left hand when he tried to find his support runners. And Sia live to breathe again. So this is where fitness will come into the equation as well. Motilal Jatilaka, a renowned trainer, also with this fully professional Army side, will back his charges towards the end of this game. We'll think that they might have what it takes to hold on. 15 points all with nothing in it. Sia have certainly played better in the second half than they did in the first. Maybe a time for a little bit of an introduction of fresh legs into the backs for CRN FC as well. May want to look at the likes of Rahul De Silva coming on at scrum half. Adds another dimension to the game from Dylan Soisa. He's got a good kicking game, does Rahul. But Soisa's defense has been very good too. So it's a tough call for coach Inti Marika, assisted by Shamli Nawaz and Mohammad Mushtaq, both former Sri Lanka players. At scrum is wheeled by Army, and Malnik finds 60 meters on that ball, and now Sashan Mohammed gets his first touch. Stepping in, the Sri Lanka Sevens poolist. Rajapaksa's pass intercepted there by Shanaka Kumara, but the referee had already blown for a knock forward. Unfortunately, it's Sia's ball, but that advantage would have seen Shanaka Kumar under the posts. But the referee had already blown his whistle, and he's got to stick by that, of course. Army making a change with Rehan Veerakun coming on. Comes on to the fly half position. And in an unusual circumstance, Rohit Rajapaksa, the captain, will move to the open side flank from the fly half berth. So that's interesting. Coming off for Army is the guy who's done really well for them. The number 7, that's Upul Aberatna. He's had an excellent game today. Malnik once again. Asan Di Costa. Sia kicking a lot today. Andrew Benson with that ball swirling. Once again the bounce undoes the Army defence. Here's Nipuna Devinder. Rajita Abekun. It's a good tackle. But they've got the penalty, CRNFC, for the offside. So this is where Army need to keep their discipline. And the referee will have a word with Rajapaksa, the captain. Can see how Sia have picked their tails up. After that first try by Ashan Di Costa, they took a while to get on the board. But once they did, there's been no stopping them. The injection of the 2 foreigners has made a huge difference. And that's the beauty as well as the shame of it. Because it's all up to the foreign players sometimes in these games. You wonder whether the substitutions by Army were made a little too early of their foreign players. Tuai, of course, left through injury. But Samuel Asaingeva has not been as impactful as I thought he might be. And Pale Soze has not done a lot since he came on in place of Kilifi Latu. Shanaka Kumara now to give his side the lead for the first time in this Dialog Rugby League game. And yes, it's good. So CRNFC have come from 15 points to 3 to lead, 18 points to 15. A good comeback from the red shirts. Simtisam Marika's side will be proud of what they've done here. But Army now with Rehan Veerakun at fly half will look to add a little bit of go forward to their back line, which has been a bit quiet. And Veerakun making a huge mistake first up. Not sending that ball the 10 meters. So Sia will have the scrum. And Poppy Farrell's eyes will light up looking at the amount of space that he's got on the right side of the scrum. Nipuna Devinder having to act out what's happening to referee Callum Stewart of New Zealand, of Australia rather. Rajapaksa, the captain, on the open side of the scrum closest to you on your screens. Going up against a young schoolboy from Wesley, Joel Pereira. Farrell waits, but Army do well to wheel that scrum and push him to the blind side. He's still got the ball though. Saingaeva holding him up. Nipuna Devinder now trying to retain that ball for Sia. Robert Malnik at first receiver does the smart thing. He knows that his team are in front, and with about 15 minutes or 20 minutes of this game to go, knows how important territory is. So Malnik running this game now almost single-handedly for the red shirts. Jalal. That one is well won by Rajat Abeku. Now Ashan Di Costa got some confidence back, and Robert Malnik now puts the ball to the boot, picks it up, and he's got no one with him, unfortunately. Now the support arrives, but Army's defense is good. Pale Soze thought he turned it over legally, but he hadn't. And Ashan Di Costa has got those cramps we were talking about earlier in the game. A lot of players do find cramp when they play on this ground because it's hard on the calves because it's a spongy surface. But it looks like Sia may just have done enough late in the day to win this game because they've got a penalty now, and Shanaka Kumara's kicking form today should find this one a fairly straightforward kick. So loss of Pio Tuai early on for Army really proving to be a body blow. Samuela Saingaeva not really the same quality player as Tuai is, and Shanaka Kumara gets it over, and that's a big lead for CRNFC, 21 points to 15. They've come back from the brink and scored 18 unanswered points, and that's good work. Rayan Fernando goes on for Asoka Jailal, the Army team. And Nipuna Devinda now will make way for Shane Samada Peruma. In fact, it's Ishan Noor who makes way for Samada Peruma. And now suddenly Army, after playing all the rugby in the first half, have a mountain to climb. Rajapaksa, who shifted to flanker, still kicking off though after Rehan Virakon's mistake, and Jahalal, who stayed on the field in fact, looking for Samuela Saingaeva. He's not allowed to run into space. That's good defense from Sia, who are now charging up off the line. What a difference momentum and confidence makes. Rehan Virakun. Now the try scorer Kamidu. Pale Soze. Pale Soze now gets through Kanchana Ramanayaka but has no support. And the ball goes into touch. So looking dangerous but just running out of space, Army. It's an important line out now for CRNFC. They'll need to make sure they keep this ball. Another cramp. And the man who's just come on, that's Samada Peruma, should really have been doing his stretching on the bench instead of waiting till he came on. Nipuna Devinda has gone into the second row from the front. Ishan Noor seemed disappointed to come off. Have wanted his leadership qualities in this pack, but the coach opting for the younger, fresher legs, and you can't argue with him there. Dilan Soisa gives it to Ashan Di Costa, who thumps a big boot in, but it's a lateral kick and it's a dangerous kick. It's a dangerous kick because Sashan Mohammed has it with him now. Rohit Rajapaksa hears, oh, that's a huge hit by Malinda Hettiarachchi. The ball spilled. He converted that into an attacking situation, Hettiarachchi, with that thump in midfield. And that dangerous kick was made into an attacking situation purely from some aggressive defense by the man in that number 20 red jersey. You have to wonder about the option that De Costa took. First up, Sashan Mohammed ran it back, and but for that huge tackle, Army would have run it back with interest. Off goes Papi Farrell. Goes laterally. And now Nipuna Devinder will run into Johan Kaiser. Strong in the contact, Devinder, against his opposite number prop forward. And Prince Chamara, who's been having an outstanding game, drops the ball. Drops it cold, under no pressure whatsoever. And now the Army body language has really shifted. They know they're facing a 6-point deficit. And Randik Alves now comes back. And moves to the number 8 position. With Samuela Saingaeva moving on to the open side flank. Andrew Benson having a word with Callum Stewart. And Farrell will wait for this one. Escapes the first tackle, shows the ball, gives it back on the inside to Dilan Soiza. Hettiarachchi does well to go down on that. And Dilan Soiza once again with the long ball. Standing at nice depth is Ashan De Costa, but still looking to run the ball even when they're ahead and in good attacking position. They're looking to kick. And why not when you win the penalty? Holding on, says the referee. And that was the ball given away by Prince Chamara. So two high-profile mistakes by Prince Chamara. Despite some outstanding attacking play, has made a few blunders in defense. And also on the field now for CRNFC is Nalin Kumara, brother of Salia Kumara, the Kandy, Vidyartha and Trinity and Sri Lanka player. And Shanaka Kumara now will be very happy if he can get this kick over, which puts his team well out in front by 9 points and takes them beyond that 7-point margin. Kumara strikes it pretty well. The flags stay down though, so it's still a 6-point game, so nothing in it. Going short, Army. And Pale Soze runs it out. And here's Johan Kaiser, the big prop forward. Randik Alves. Army need to hold on to this ball as they did so well in the first half. Now Rehan Virakun puts the big boot in and Ashan De Costa is back nicely. He puts it up and under 2. Rojana Hettiarachchi is chasing. Nobody wants to catch it for Army. And Prince Chamara is bulldozed back by Rojana Hettiarachchi, who's done well with the scraps that he has been given. But there's CRNFC guilty of a little bit of indiscipline going over that ball, and Pale Soze will run it back. Play on, says the referee, and Sia look like they might have turned this one over, but Army have managed to win it. Rehan Virakun to Asoka Jayalal. battling to get closer to his forwards. And now Andrew Benson looks for Randik Alves there. And referee yelling at the players to let go. But Shane Samada Peruma not heeding the referee's call. Army have got to get the ball to Saingaeva in midfield, but they've conceded the penalty, holding on again. Looks like Randik Alves is in some strife. Asoka Jayalal, in fact, it is on the ground. And Robert Malnick will look to find some territory and kill this game off. Sia had a chance to put it to bed, but just missing that penalty through Shanaka Kumara. And Army undoing all the good work they did in the first half. Malin the Hettiarachi looks to find his jumper, but all he finds instead is Rajit Abekun, who knocks on, so CRNFC have the advantage. That's another knock on, but the referee will keep playing because Poppy Farrell has the ball. And the referee does blow it back for that knock on. So this is a really good attacking position for CRNFC. Options on both sides of the field. As Tisule Karunatilaka comes on for Army. Not sure who he's replacing yet. But it looks like Karunatilaka has actually come on in the flanker position. So that's strange. He's usually a back player. He's a midfield player or a winger. But Karunatilaka coming on in the unaccustomed position of flanker. And Poppy Farrell gives it to Robert Malnick, who dances his way out of one tackle. Looks for the offload. Alin Kumara cannot hold the ball. I thought Malnick should have given it one step earlier. But it looks like it's a penalty try that's been awarded to Sia. In fact, it's the end of the game. It's the end of the game and CRNFC have won. Coming back and winning this one 21 points to 15, scoring 18 unanswered points against a strong Army team. Army doing really well at the end of that first half to lead 15 points to 3. But Ashan Di Costa went over in the corner and did well to rally his troops. Robert Malnick coming into in the second half of the game made a huge difference to the CRNFC lads. Made sure he led by example, and Shanaka Kumara's kicking managed to put CRNFC in front and keep them there. Army making some terrible mistakes towards the latter half of the game, and CRNFC managing to clean up their act in the half that mattered, which is the second half. And big relief for the coaches on the screen there in the light blue shirts. Mohammad Mushtaq and Shamli Nawaz and Imtisha Marika, the head coach, will be mightily relieved. And the Army team will feel that that game slipped away from them. And that's pretty much the action for the first round of the Dialog A Division Rugby League. We'll bring you all the action from this year's games live and exclusive on ThePapare.com, so make sure you keep it tuned to us. We'll bring you the review of this weekend's action as well. Lots of interesting things happening. Lots of crossovers from players, lots of movement from coaches as well. And we'll tell you exactly what those are and what to look forward to when we bring you all that action throughout the course of this week, heading into next week. So from the race course here, it's Army 15, CRNFC 21.